Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a review for you of this little guy. This is the EagTac T25L-R, rechargeable light from EagTac. Now, EagTac is a company that I've reviewed before. They make my very favorite everyday carry pocket light. Wow. I review a lot of pocket knives, so the phrasing was right there. But this is the D25A in titanium here. And so I was very curious to see when they announced a USB rechargeable light to see, what they were up to with that. But first off, let's do a size comparison. Of course, Spyderco-Delica, this is my channel, of course. CR123 battery and the 18650 battery that powers this guy. Here is a standard AA battery. The D25A, I may have already done that comparison. And a couple of other USB rechargeable lights, the Phoenix UC35 up here. So you can see, size-wise, those two are around the same. And the ThruNite Neutron, which is my current recommendation for a USB recharge sort of light. So, anyways, let's go on ahead and jump into, and one other note. This little thing on the top here, this is optional. You can remove it. It's a light diffuser. We'll talk about why. But, yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the good, the great, the bad, and the ugly of this particular little light here. So on the good side, this does have very powerful output. You get 3 levels, and I'll adjust it all the way to the top here. So this is the highest level here, and a little bit of blue that you can see off the side there, always kind of a weird little detail. But anyways, this has 3 levels. The high level is 1400 lumens, which is very, very bright. The medium level is 400 lumens, which is also pretty damn bright. And the low level is 40 lumens, which is, and all 3 of these are going to be solid. The 1400 is absolutely very good for outdoorsing. The 400 is absolutely great indoors and also for outdoors. And then the 40 lumens is mostly an indoor setting, but, it works very well. It doesn't have that creepy horror movie feeling that some low modes can have. So the output is very, very nice, and actually the interface that you just saw me using is pretty straightforward too. You trigger the light using this switch on the back here. And then to adjust the light, you just twist. See, it's got the little adjustment ring here, and so when I twist one direction, turns down, keep twisting that direction. Come on now. Oh, that is the low mode. Okay, and then twist, and then if I keep twisting, there we go. Now it goes to your high mode. Not a brilliant man. But anyways, that's the interface. It's pretty straightforward. It's worth noting, though, if you think you're in low and you keep twisting, you'll disassemble the light. Details. But anyways, so it's got that nice little interface, which is very straightforward, and it also has inherent mode memory. If you were on low and then you hit the button again, guess what? You're going to stay on low, or you'll go into disco mode, because you double-clicked it there. But anyways, moving along. Oh, disco mode. Yeah. So the run times on this guy are also fine. You get about 1.3 hours on high, which is a very, very high, so that's acceptable. You get 6 hours on mid and 70 hours in low mode, which is pretty impressive as well. It's not absolutely a runtime beast. There are definitely lights with better runtime, even this little guy here. But given the amount of light this is putting out, even on the low mode, honestly, that makes sense. The figures aren't out of line here. Next thing, this has USB-C based charging. So it's using a USB charger here, but it's the USB-C standard rather than the micro USB that most people are using. This is a great idea because many phones and laptops are switching over to USB-C. And so in a lot of ways, they're kind of going where the ball is headed in this case. And I think that's absolutely a good idea. It's not a demerit. In fact, that was one of the reasons I got this, because my laptop charges off USB-C. If I can charge use my laptop charger to charge my light too, that means maybe I have one less thing I got to carry around. We'll talk more about the implementation later, but it is absolutely a great idea. USB recharging is a killer feature for lights because it means that not only do you not have to worry about having separate charging units for weird battery types, but you can also gift the light to somebody and they can charge it using existing gear. That's a beautiful thing. Then finally, on the good side, the price on this guy is $90, $100, really depends on where you're looking at here. And that's a fine price given the output that you getting here, given the construction of it. I'm pretty okay with that. That's right in line with a lot of what you see this guy for on what you see other USB lights for, just in the light community. So that to me is the good. It's got the nice price, $90 to $100. USB-C based charging is a great idea. It's got a pretty simple interface with fine run times and very powerful output. On the great side, I love the light color. This is a neutral white version of it, and the light is just great. It is absolutely beautiful. disco mode again, sorry. If you double click, you get disco mode. But anyways, the light coming off of it is absolutely beautiful. It is pretty uniform. You can see a little cast of blue off to the side there. I suspect that's because of the anti-reflective coating, and it's really not noticeable once you get further away from whatever it is you're lighting up there. But just the light coloration on this is just beautiful and very consistent, very nice. To me, what's bad about this guy, first off, it is very easy to hit this tail switch accidentally. There are no guards on the tail switch like this little guy here has, and so not only does this mean the light won't tail stand, but this is very, very easy to accidentally hit. It's also very easy to purposefully hit, and so if you're doing one of the kind of momentary on things, that works nicely, but it is something you keep in mind. Next thing, this is also a little bit large. I mean, even compared to other USB rechargeable lights, this guy has a big old reflector. It's a large light. 100%. Next thing, this is bad for me, but it may not actually be bad for you. This might be a perk for you, but this is a super freaking throwy light. What I mean by that is that the light pattern is very concentrated. If we compare the light pattern to this guy, which is over here, obviously, to the through night here, you can see here that the through night, at the same distance away from the table, has a lot more scatter. What this means is that this is going to be great, particularly in this turbo mode. This becomes basically a pocket spotlight. But what it also means is that for everyday carry use, just wandering around in the world, generally in my life, actually I want a more floody light. I want a light that will kind of be more diffuse. So if I'm underneath a desk trying to illuminate a bunch of wires, I'm not just lighting up that one wire really well, I'm lighting up the whole kind of milieu there. And so they give you a flippy little diffuser here, which means you can flip this diffuser off and you get the spotty light, but if you put this on, it gives you something that's a little bit throwier. But the problem is this diffuser is actually a little bit on the huge side, particularly with this big hinge off the back of it here. And so this light, for me at least, is only carryable with this diffuser because it is too spotty for everyday carry in my life at least. But, you know, unfortunately, and they don't have like a screw-on diffuser or something that can be a little more permanent, so that's really not great. However, I'm willing to acknowledge that it is, you know, it may not be a bad thing for everybody because if you want a throwy light, there you go. So that's the bad to me at least. It is super throwy, and that just doesn't work for my everyday carry life. Let me know in the comments if you'd like throwy or spotty for everyday carry. It is a little bit large, and the tail cap is, well, the tail switch, that is pretty easy to accidentally hit because there's absolutely no, well, there's really nothing back here except the switch. On the ugly side, unfortunately, the USB charging on this light absolutely sucks. So what I mean by that is that it just doesn't reliably work. USB-C cables, I've got plenty of them. They're around, they're pretty straightforward. But the thing is, it doesn't work with my laptop charger, which is a USB-C power delivery charger. It doesn't work with a USB power pack that I've got. That won't work. It doesn't correctly detect the right voltage, so it just kind of flashes. It doesn't work with a USB multi-charger with, you know, 4 USB ports or anything like that. This only works with the included charger or any other charger that is only pushing 1 watt. That is it. And it says right here 5 volts, 1 amp. I'm sorry, not 1 watt, 1 amp. Big difference there. But that's the problem here. You are not allowed to make a generic USB charging light that only works with a specific kind of USB charger. That just doesn't work. I am not buying a USB rechargeable light because I want to use your charger. The main feature of a USB light is that you can charge it anywhere using any USB charger, and they have made a light that doesn't do that. And so as a result, the main feature of this light, the most interesting thing about it, doesn't really work all that well. You have a USB charger that just requires basically one specific kind of charger. And that's just really ugly and absolutely sucks. And so that to me is what's ugly here, is that the USB-C charging just isn't, no, you can't do that to us. So let's go into the final conclusion, which is that this is a good light for lighting things. I mean, particularly very distant things with that spottiness to it. It's bright, it's got nice color tone, and it's a pretty decent choice if you are specifically looking for a very throwy, you know, concentrated, spotty, tactical light for outdoor use. And it is, in fact, a very, very nice light for that, because you get very, very bright runs. In fact, you get a bunch of good stuff there. But ultimately, I gotta be honest, I'm not that happy with this. I have carried this in my pack a fair amount. I've used it a number of times, and each time I use it, it's just like, this isn't the right tool here. Because it's so spotty that it doesn't work that well for my normal tasks, and I end up using this guy, but even this guy leaves this guy fairly spotty. And then the main feature for it, the USB charging, is just not well done, and that's just really, really awful. So it is a fine light, particularly if you're willing to look past this. If you're just looking for a small, throwy, outdoory sort of light, this is a fine piece. But for me, it's not one I'm going to recommend. So if you're looking for a USB rechargeable light, consider things like the Phoenix UC35. The light quality is just way worse here, but the charging is much, much easier. Or the ThruNite Neutron 2C. You are again losing some light quality. I wish this light had the light quality coming out of this guy. But the thing is, it's smaller, it's got better charging, it's got a more floody sort of situation. It's also side switch only, that might matter to you. But look, ultimately, although I like EagTac generally as a brand, and they make some incredible pieces, and there's D25A here, which I still absolutely love, despite my best desires and my real sincere hopes that this would actually solve problems in my life, this guy is absolutely not going to stick around, and it's not a light I'm going to send you to. So anyways, there you go. I hope this is interesting, that you got a charge off of this guy, and that it was a generic charge, not one requiring a very specific... Anyways, I'm bitter. And that you have yourselves just an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.